so you know the little white camera, it was like a camera in Gen Pop. They would go up to it. They were like, so I think Chosen went up to it. Somebody went up to it and said, "Are you 60 days in?" And the camera moved and said, "We're answering their questions with the camera." I'm like, these people are ridiculous. Like, I'm like, what the hell are they doing?
Good evening, listeners, brave navigators of the enigmatic and the concealed. Have you ever felt the pull of the unanswered, the allure of the mysteries that shroud our existence? For more than a decade, a unique comic publisher has dared to dive into these mysteries, unafraid of the secrets they might uncover. This audacious entity is Paranoid American. Welcome to the mystifying universe of the Paranoid American podcast.
Launched in the year 2012, Paranoid American has been on a mission to decipher the encrypted secrets of our world. From the unnerving enigma of MK Ultra mind control to the clandestine assemblies of secret societies. From the awe-inspiring frontiers of forbidden technology to the arcane patterns of occult symbols in our very own pop culture. They have committed to unveiling the concealed realities that lie just beneath the surface. Join us as we navigate these intricate landscapes, decoding the hidden scripts of our society and challenging the accepted perceptions of reality.
Folks, I've got a big problem on my hands. There's a company called Paranoid American making all these funny memes and comics. Now, I'm a fair guy. I believe in free speech as long as it doesn't cross the line. And if these AI-generated memes dare to make fun of me, they're crossing the line.
This is your expedition into the realm of the extraordinary, the secret, the shrouded. Come with us as we sift through the world's grand mysteries, question the standardized narratives, and brave the cryptic labyrinth of the concealed truth. So strap yourselves in, broaden your horizons, and steel yourselves for a voyage into the enigmatic heart of the Paranoid American podcast, where each story, every image, every revelation brings us one step closer to the elusive truth.
Another episode of Paranoid American Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. And what a wide variety of different topics and guests. And today I've actually got someone that I got to hang out with recently. Awesome person. And I'm pretty excited, and his camera's jumping all over the place. But this is Correll from 60 Days In.
What's up?
What's going on, man? How you been doing?
Living this summer. It's been an interesting summer, so just been living, exploring, expeditioner. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, and just some general housekeeping. Give your plugs and where people can find you and everything, so that
so you guys can find me at Instagram at the Corey Correll, and you can find me on TikTok at the Corey Correll, and that's about main two things I use. So is Instagram, so at the Corey Correll, and TikTok, Corey Correll.
And for anyone watching or listening, and they're not familiar with who you are, or even when I said 60 Days In, what that is, it's a TV show. It's basically a reality kind of competition-esque. I don't know. How would you describe what 60 Days In? You're the expert here.
I would describe 60 Days In as like a messed up version of Big Brother, and you just don't win any money. It's about 7 people who go undercover, who, see if they can survive jail and see if they can make change in the jail and find the problems within the jail. So that's the main basic of the show.
And you were on season 9, right?
Season 9, yes.
Latest season out, and has it even fully aired, or are we still waiting on new episodes?
The season finale is tonight.
Wow, awesome! Yeah, so I guess I'll have to get this one out early for people that are on Patreon and everything, so they can watch this in preparation for that.
Yeah,
you already know what's going to happen. I assume you're not going to tell us because I can't tell us. But do you know what's happening?
I still don't know. Every sneak peek surprises me. I'm like, oh, that happened. So I still don't know what happened. So I don't know.
So I guess that's one of the things I'm really curious about, reality shows, is how often when the people are off the show and they're watching themselves and they're watching the other people that they know and everything. How surprised were you? First, we'll talk about the other people before we get to you. But how surprised were you at other people's reaction, or did you think that you kind of could tell who would act certain ways and it played out how you expected?
It was at least than I expected. Every day they show a sneak peek because I'm off the show. I left episode 5. I'm like, wow, that happened. Wow, you went through that. Wow, that you said that. Like, wow, like you did that. Like, it's like, wow, like I'm flabbergasted. So like, I have the best of both worlds. Is like, I got to go my favorite show, and I get to like be a super fan too, and just watch it from like a fan standpoint because it's cool.
Are you still like a lifelong fan of the
Oh
series?
yes, like I'm telling you, this is literally, if I wasn't on this season, this would have been my favorite season. Even without me being on it, it would have been my favorite season because it's just it gets to the point. It just gets to the point. I like how it gets to the point. I like it. I like the season a lot. So yeah, I'm still a super duper fan. I'm a huge fan.
And just to hit some of the critics like head on here, because I mean, if you look for the negative, which there's plenty on the internet, that's basically all the internet is. But most people are like, "Oh, it's the most boring season ever," blah blah blah. But it almost seems like it boils down to like people want to see violence,
like fights. They want to,
yeah.
People, this is not your typical season. I'll just tell you that it's not your typical season. I feel like people are used to like gory fighting, participants snorting drugs and doing whippets with people. It's different. I mean, I think we all are unique, and I think we all like have our own authenticness to us, like each and every one of us, I would say. And that's what makes it different. I mean, I feel like no one was trying to come in and throw that pop boss weight around. I mean, I think we all most definitely, had our own reasons for going there and had our own, outlook and perspectives on it. So yeah.
How much do you think the fact that it's in Utah and like kind of just surrounded by Mormonism, how much do you think that has an effect on not having fights and violence the same way that you'd expect?
Because that means Mike Smith is doing his job right. That means he's doing his job really right. He's running his show. There's no reason that if he ran his show perfectly. Okay, that's a perfect show. I mean, they may call it soft, they may call it a weak jail. Like, no, it just ran really well. Like, it was, I mean, that's why the participants are more the problem than the inmates, because usually you just see the inmates being more the problem, and, the participants just sit back and watch the problems, but we're the problems. We're the problems, so it makes it different.
So when you showed up the very first day to get processed in, or even just to meet and talk about it, did you know that was the jail that you're going to be going to? I assume you knew where you were flying to when you had a plane ticket, but did you know exactly what happened after that? Okay.
I had an idea, but when they said Utah, when I saw Utah, I said, "Oh yeah, we can make TV here." I said, because I go through Salt Lake City. I've been to Provo before. I've been to Moab. I'm a Utah kind of guy. Like, I like to hike the trails there. So it was I was like, "Oh, we can make TV because we can make TV here." I'm like, it's gonna be boring. I just knew. I was like, we can make some TV here, because I've always looked at 60 Days In as a reality TV show. I've always looked at it as a reality TV show, to the point where when they said Utah, I'm like, oh, they got it. Yeah, we can do this. And I knew I could like last 60 days there, but turns out I didn't. But I'm like, oh, that's a breeze. It's gonna be a breeze.
When you watch it now, I get like whatever your initial impressions were before going in, but now that you're being able to like watch it from a bird's eye view and like get the whole and see the editing and know what kind of goes on behind the editing, is there anything that you're like, yeah, the jail definitely needs to fix this problem?
I think from looking at it from the experiences with the other participants, with them going through what they're going through, yeah, huge changes. But I think editing, you guys are not seeing half of what they're showing. You guys are not even, because they have a story to tell. They have a story to tell. They have a narrative to paint, people. They have a show to sell. So, it's very different from, like, watching my experience on TV was very different from my experience when I was in there. So that's why I would never accept that narrative. I mean, I said those things, did those things, but it was just, editing just played a really big part of it, because I don't know, it just played a really huge part in it.
If you had like, this might not be an exact science, but if you had like a scale from like 1 to 10 on how accurate the portrayal of you was after the editing, is it like a 0? Is it like a 3? Like, where would it be from 0 to 10?
A 7. It's probably a 6 or 7. I'm putting in between, because it's so much that people are like, huh? Like, I'm telling you, I think I laughed more in there than I ever cried. I didn't really even cry in there. I laughed more in there than anything. And like, they just don't show you a lot. Like, with me leaving intake, I had like all the inmates, like most of my room, like cellmates in there in intake gave me their numbers and stuff. And it's like, yo, you seem like a really cool dude. Like, hit me up. Like, they don't show me interacting with the inmates at all. Like, they just don't. And it kind of sucks, but, you know, they have a, story to tell.
Do you think that they would still be interested in hanging out and talking to you, even knowing now that you were 60 days in the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, I talked to Mark. I talked to a few people in there. You'll be surprised. Like, people, like, I still talk to a few of the inmates in there.
How many people, while you were in there, how many people knew that you were 60 days in?
No, I mean, people used to always accuse me of being 60 days in. And they used to call me 60. That was my nickname. I used to be either called 90 or 60. What's up, 90? What's up, 60? Like, I mean, it was only that, like, but I never confirmed it, I'm like, shut up. Like, oh, shut up. No, I'm not, But
well, how many other people did they call 60? Was it just you?
They used to always, even inmates, he should just predict they were 60 days in, But I had one inmate, like Austin, he used to always tell me, he was like, you're way too nice to be in here. You're way too nice to be in here.
I agree,
He's like, you sure you're not 60 days in? You sure? He's like, you way too nice. Like, you just way too nice. I'm like, yeah, because, being black, they expect like a ghetto roughneck. But like, I was very like nice, and then they were very nice to me as well. Like, and then they don't show me hanging out with the other black people too. Like, people used to, like, it's so much to it. We're gonna get into it, but like so much they didn't show. But the inmates in there were very decent to me. I mean, as you've seen, I didn't get bullied. I didn't get punched. I didn't get threatened. But I mean, I was fine.
Were you expecting any of that? Were you expecting at some point to get hit?
I was like, because when I went in there, I remember I was like, damn, this is a boring ass show. I was like, because being a super fan and watching 60 Days In, I'm like, where's the bully? Where's the where's the drip? Like drip from season 8. I was like, I want a drip. I want somebody to try me. Like, I want to give them that, because they wanted me to have problems in there. But I was expecting like those pod boss, people throwing their weight around, like, I don't know. I was just like, this is boring. Like, I want 60 Days In. Like, I want it to be, gritty, but it wasn't gritty. It was very nice. I'm very blessed that I did have that experience that I did. It wasn't as bad, so as I thought it was going to be. But it blew my mind. But I kind of expected it though, because it's Utah. But when I went in there, when I walked in, like, they were helping me to my bag. You seen they grabbed my lunch. It's so much to it. Like, they grabbed my lunch, and they were grilling me. So I got in there, what are you in here for? 90? Like I said, I think that was like 90. I was like, yeah, 90. That was like, for weed? I said, yeah. And then I was like, fuck. And then I was like, because I'm black. They were like, oh, we get it. Yeah, they always pull that racist shit here. Oh, we get it. I'm like, my skin color really did save me in there.
Yeah, and I remember that exact scene too, because they were starting to grill you on why did you get 90 when this guy over here had like 5 times as much
and
as
then
you.
So when he said that was the second day I was in there. When that guy said that, sorry for cutting you off. When he said that so they put two of my the first scene in intake is 2 days in one clip. Because when I walked in there, if you go back and watch and pay attention, because Pedro was not the one who's asking about 90. He asked me that the second day I was in there, and then they just kind of put those two together. I mean, said it in, but they were very. I mean, and there was another dude that was in the cell with us, and I said, Lord, forgive me. They were accusing him of being 60 days. I was like, yeah, I can see it. I was like, yeah, I can see it. I'm like, I can see it. I'm like, long as he ain't on me, because I ain't about to get hopped on in here, But at the end of the day, they really probably wouldn't have cared. I mean, they wanted to be. I was in there with a bunch of 20-year-olds, Gen Z. So most of my cellmates in intake were young. So they wanted the clout. They were the ones hopping to go do interviews and stuff. Like, it's a lot y'all don't see. It's a lot.
Yeah, I guess one of the personal questions that I've always wondered on this show is like, how often are they pulling like non-show contestants in?
Oh, so I'm gonna give you something. Okay, so look, my interview in the green jumpsuit that you see, episode 1 through 5, was done on my last day, and they put them in different clips. Me talking about my time, because they knew my time was up. They just knew. So and I'm so shocked how they could do that, which is like, I mean, just goes to show I'm a great storyteller, but they literally, all my interviews are done in 1 hour. And people actually think they're just taking me out, pulling me out for every moment. Like, no, like some of the things I'm talking about doesn't even correlate with what's going on in that show. So that was my bigger surprise. But they got a show to sell. But I mean, yeah, they pulled me out for an interview my last day, very last day. I was in there, like my very last day.
That seems like it would have taken almost all the heat off of you if they didn't even pull you in until you were already out of it, right? So like, how could you even be accused of being 60 days if they were interviewing other people and not you?
Exactly. Because it's just too nice. I mean, I wasn't the only one getting accused of 60 days in. I mean, they will accuse the CEO. Like if they see, it's hard to explain because it's just like they put cameras in Utah County, and I think they film a month before and they pull out people anyways. So it's been going on way before we were there. So, I mean, but the only time that people were actually like confirmed I was 60 days in is when they pulled me out. It's a lot. We don't get to that point, but I don't know. But they definitely, like, even Chosen, Lori used to call me, he was the one that was calling me 60 because he was like, you're way too nice. Like, you're way, like, so.
I thought that too, but also there's one other extra gap that maybe it would be part of your backstory or like hashing out, but you are too nice, but not for jail. It would almost seem like you would have had to have run into the cop having the worst day in his life in order to even take it farther, especially if it was for what, like 2 ounces, they said?
Because the cover story changed. They changed it on the spot, which was weird. And then they gave me the wrong. Then they gave the tenderloin dude, whoever his name is, gave me the wrong name. And I didn't know I had the wrong name until I got into my cell and intake. They make it seem like I knew in intake that was my wrong name because I just told them Phillips, and then they scratched the name out. And I looked at the paper. I said Pratt. Oh. I'm like, oh. And that's when I was like, but when I do this, when I'm like talking about it in my interview, when I do this, that was me debating on like if I should leave or not. It had nothing to do with me knowing my name. It's just like editing. And it's just like, it's just so hard to like explain it because, it's like people are seeing it in a different way than I experienced it,
Well, there's another layer to this too that it might be obvious, but it might be so obvious that people don't even realize this. And that's when everyone there is wearing the exact same jumpsuit, like constantly, like they're just wearing a jumpsuit every day. You could have 30 days worth of footage and edit it all up, and it would be really hard to tell because there's no wardrobe changes. Dude,
I'm telling you, I was in there for 6 or 7 days, and they put me on this show for 5 weeks. I'm like, whoa. I said, whoa. I'm like, they showed me more than Scarlet. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, every time it was a sneak peek, I said, I used to get pissed off. I'm like, can they show somebody else? Can y'all show someone else going through pain? Because I'm like, it was definitely tough watching it, but yeah.
You know what, too, though? I think part of the reason that they gave you so much, I guess, like top billing on that 5 episodes, you got like a cliffhanger in every damn episode.
Oh, I was pissed at that damn. I'm like, I'm about to go home. Yes. I said, yeah. He said, I'm like, damn. I said, just let me be. Let me go. Release me. I've never seen them do a cliffhanger like that. I'm like, please, just, what's the point of cliffhanger? I'm like, they wanted to, it's like they wanted to like use every ounce of footage. They could, but not saying I'm like, star power or anything, but it's just like, damn, like they stretched me out, which I'm not complaining. I love a good camera time. I love camera time. So, but I was like, damn, like, because I thought when I left, I thought it was only going to be on like 2 or 3 episodes. I didn't think my story was, I didn't think it would, I just didn't think they would stretch it out, that far. I didn't think that was that important. I mean, I'm still not that important, but I didn't think my story was that major because,
And we'll start getting into your story here. And I'm curious to lead into this. How many people on the show ever, I guess, like in all the seasons, but in yours in particular, how many people are there just to get on TV and use this as a launch pad to like do other things based on the recognition from being on TV?
A lot. And a lot of people who say they don't and went in there for change, a lot, because people still use that 60 days in their title, like still use it, But see, me, I've done TV before. I've been on Jerry Springer. I've done a competition show that comes out very soon.
You allowed to say what the name is?
I can say, yeah, the rape. No, but it comes out on Peacock TV. It comes out on Peacock TV very soon. But
watch Peacock.
I study reality TV. I love reality TV. I mean, I just had no business going on 60 Days In. No business going on 60 Days In. I had no business going on that show. Like none. And I'm like, why did I do that to myself? Because I'm real in real life, I'm a fun person. I'm funny. I love to, entertain, but I was like, wow, I'm an emotional wreck. And that's all they showed. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, okay, it's reality TV. So I'm like, but that was the wrong show but it's a lot of people. I mean, hell, I went on there to be on TV. I mean, hell yeah, I'm on TV, but kind of like spitfire in my face, like, damn, I should have just stayed my ass at home. I'm like, I should just stay my ass at home. Really, I should have just stayed at home. But no, I'm grateful for the experience because, I met great people. I mean, I don't regret doing the show because I've learned a lot about myself. So, but yeah.
When we were hanging out earlier, you had mentioned that this is a show that you started watching in junior high. So I'm just
yes.
Let's
So it was my favorite
rewind
show.
back. Tell me about it.
So in 2016, when that first trailer of 60 Days In came on, me and my friends were just like, what the hell? People are volunteering to go to jail. We used to rush home to watch that. Rush home. That was like the new it was popping. 60 Days In seasons 1 through 6 was popping. Like,
was it the violence? Was it the violence that got you?
No, it was the violence got me at first. The violence got me at first, but then like the participants, like I didn't give a damn about a tap out. Like I'm like, if people tap out, like I wouldn't make fun of them. I'm like, okay, because I didn't damn well I couldn't do that, So, but just watching Robert, man, I said, who is this guy? I said, who is he? It was just like, I don't know. It was just very like Angelique. When by the time her season came out, I was like a senior in high school, I think. I'm not sure. Yes, that story. Stephanie and Jacqueline were iconic. Like just like all these iconic characters. Tony was iconic. Like I was like, I was invested into the cast members. Like I was so I didn't care. Like that's the thing. Like I didn't care about the inmates. I mean, I cared about the change and stuff. But as me, like watching TV, I always focus on the participants. Like, wow, these are interesting people. So, but yeah, I've been watching since 2016, and I was just like, wow, like I want to do this. And then when I got the opportunity to go on my favorite show, I'm like, oh wow, like, whew. I'm like, it was like a reality hit me. It was just kind of like a wave of hitness. It's just like hitting, like, wow, I'm actually here. I used to wake up in my cell, I'm like, I'm on 60 Days In. I was like, damn. I used to like, you have the shower, like look in the mirror that you can barely see yourself in. I was like, I'm on 60 Days In. I was like, in my mind, like, I'm on 60 Days In. Like, wow. Like, I mean, but it's my favorite. It's still my favorite show. Like I still play the complications in the background if I'm cleaning up. Like it's a blueprint show. At least it was back then, but it's a very blueprint show. It was a very blueprint show. Like it's 60 Days In.
So during season 1, when you were watching in junior high, at that point where you're like, I would do this one day.
Well, I was a junior in high school. I knew when I'm watching it, I'm like, how do people even sign up for this? Like, how do you even get on this? Like, who would even do this? Like, I mean,
yeah. Well, I wonder, like, when did you change your thinking from who the hell would do this to like, I would do this?
When they reached out to me, I was like, okay, I can do this. And then that's when I used to like actually go back and study it. So like I can prepare honestly, I did a shitty job preparing myself, but to just see like, to clarify if I can do this. And when they say Utah, I was like, I can do this. I was like, I can do this. I'm like, I got this. But no, it was like a pinch me moment. Like I'm on this show. Because they had reached out to me a couple of times. The first time they ever reached out, I was almost on season 6 because April 2019, I missed the call. I missed the call in April 2019. And thank God, that was God saying, yo, this is ain't, because I was like 19 at the time. It was like, yeah, this ain't your time. Like, I think I was 19 or 20 years old at the time.
So you might have went in when they're doing the quarantine seasons.
Yeah, they reached out to me for season 7, but they went to a different direction. They said, because, it was former inmates. Season 8, I almost had, but that was God again saying, you can't go. Like, there was no way I would have tapped out seasons 1 through 8. I'm telling you, I couldn't have done it. And so, like, when I go on season 9, it was so easy just to get to wake up and not have people bother you or like just like friendly. It was just like I was my own worst enemy in there. So I was bullying myself before anyone else could bully me. So, but it was kind of like it was a pinch me kind of moment that like, damn, I'm on this show, my favorite show. Cause like this show, The Challenge, The World, Big Brother, and I think Bagels Club was like my favorite top shows ever when I was like going, in high school and stuff. So I got to go on one of my favorite shows, just like I applied for Big Brother. That would have been a pinch me moment kind of too, I mean, I may have sucked the competitions, but I'm on my favorite TV show. So.
And you kind of went in like a gangster a little bit, man, because you said that you didn't tell anyone where you were going to just be disappearing for 2 months, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what screwed me over.
In retrospect, was that smart?
Hell no, because it was to a point where I had a merchant contact, which was my cousin, and I think I messed up with that one. Well,
how would it have changed with your experience there if you told someone
support system? If I had like a friend to call and stuff, and then Chosen used to let me use his commissary because I ran out of money because I spent all my money. They didn't give me any money in there. I just spent my own money and I ran out because I bought all my commissary. So he would let me see his headphones. He would let me use his commissary and to call my friends, and stuff. So that's why I always respect him.
Did that ever come up during like production chats? Like, oh, by the way, like we're never going to give you commissary. That's going to be.
No, they were supposed to. They were supposed to. But they tell us to bring money on our own. Like they tell us to bring our own money. So I put like I think like $80 on my books. Like I don't know how I can even pinpoint it. $60, $80 on my books. But jail shit is expensive. I'm telling you, between phone calls and I think because I kept trying to call my merchant contact, which was my cousin, but she would pick up. We would talk. I think I talked to her like 3 times on that little payphone. And it was vaguely short, And then I used to lose my PIN number all the time. Used to always lose it.
How many numbers are we talking?
I mean, PIN numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like 6 digits. It was like a 6-digit.
Okay.
We had like 6 digits, but I used to always keep it on this little note. And then I remember I used to go down to, and then she was like Smith. I went to ask him. I was like, "Hey, can you write me? Can I get my number?" And he was like, "You got to keep up with that." Like, yeah. And then he would just give it to me. I mean,
do you remember it now?
No. I still can remember. I wasn't there that long to remember it. But I mean, if I had been there a long time, I probably would have tattooed it on me. Like it would have been like a little cool little thing tattooed. But yeah, we had my own money. I spent my own money in there.
So you didn't tell anyone you were going, so you had no support system to kind of rely on. I guess that would have been pretty pivotal.
Oh, I shut myself out from the world on purpose. I did everything to myself. It's crazy. I was like, damn, Corey, you just fucking yourself over left and right. I say you just don't like yourself at this point, and I didn't at that time because going on that show was like escape to me because I went through. It was just a rough period in my life, and so when I got to go on my favorite show, when they offered it to me, and it's like, hey, yo, we want you to move forward. I'm like, okay, hell, let me pack my bags, let me collect these checks, and let me just go see what I can do out of this, and we see how it turned out.
Did you do part of that so that no one would try and talk you out of it?
I did that so I wouldn't distract myself. That was my whole thing. I don't want any distractions, and I didn't want anyone to take this away from me. Like I didn't want anything to ruin this. I just wanted to do this right. I wanted to go in there right. So you got in there. How long total did you spend in jail? 7 days, 6 or 7 days. I think it was 7 days. 7 intake for 4 days.
So, I mean, in your words, why did you leave early? Why didn't you stay the full 60 days? What happened exactly?
Oh, okay. So that's the thing. I was doing that toothache. You guys didn't even see the half of it. I spit my crown out because I had to spit it out because the nurse, they didn't show this at all. The nurse, when I went down to get checked, he said, "Oh, that's cracked. We got to make you a dentist appointment." I was going to go that next day. I was going to go to the dentist appointment, I think that day. But the toothache, I really did, guys. I really did have a toothache. I mean, I really did. Like, that's why you see me banging my head on that thing. Like, it hurt. It sucks. And so, like, during that night, I think I ring the little bell thing, and then they gave me like ibuprofen, which was weak. I was so pissed off at that. I was like, this little weak ass ibuprofen, like this is weak. I mean, I was like looking for my savior. That's when I was like, but I was like, yeah. And then I spit out. It's on camera. I literally spit out my crown in the toilet because I had a crown. I spit it out. And then Avi and Nina will confirm that I was on FaceTime them one day after the show, and I had to go to the hospital because they were like, your mouth is swollen that side, Corey. Like literally, like they will confirm the story. I actually had to go to the emergency room in my hometown because my crown got affected again. Like my face was swollen. So yeah, I actually did have 2 problems, but I think that was just like, I didn't leave because of the tube. I left because of production because they were going to send me right back in there. I was fine. That's why they probably did that cliffhanger because I was fine. I was going to go right back in there. I was fine. But then they started picking and plucking in my brain. And I was like, I'm done. That's when you said, yeah, I'm done. Because I got pissed off at them behind the scenes. I was like, you're not, they were picking and plucking. In 1 hour of all me doing that interview, what you've seen in 5 episodes, I was crying. I was laughing. It was crazy. I'm like, yeah, this is toying my mental state. So so they sent me back to my cell. You know, they showed me like instantly going into booking. No, that's not what happened. I go back. The inmates give me my lunch tray because they saved my lunch tray for me. We had some good ass chicken and barbecue sauce that day too. And I go up to my cell and I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, I don't want to leave because everybody was like cool. Like it was just cool. I didn't want to leave. And then here comes the CEO who was on that day. He comes upstairs and he goes, yeah, my boss wants you out. You're out. He was like, my boss said you got to go. I'm like literally getting kicked out, evicted from jail. And so everyone's looking like, what the fuck did he do to get this type? Like everyone's like, because I'm like a chill dude. I didn't cause any problems in there. So they're like, what the fuck did he do? So that's when they pretty much kind of like put 2 and 2 together. Maybe 60 days in. He was like, yeah, my boss never comes in here, but you got to go. He said, pack your things. You got to go. I said, damn, I never been kicked out of jail. I'm like, okay, homie, chill. I'm like, let me get my shit. Let me gather my thoughts. Because that was a lot. So I remember just like left all my commissary. I just like remember just taking my Dolly Parton book I found there and just like walked out. And I walked out and just was like, I don't have any drugs. I tried to get my last little scenes or whatever. And I remember Fabian like looking at me through his cell. He was like, I'm like, yeah. Like he went in there. He said, you got to get out, you know.
You're trying to make a big show on your way out in case they wanted to.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have any drugs. I didn't do shit. And OG, his name was OG Crip. This dude named OG Crip in there. He was like, what'd you do? This old man with glasses. He's like, what'd you do? This black dude. He was like, I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting kicked out. And then that's why they don't show that. And that's why they show me probably going straight to booking. You guys never see me go back to my cell. But I actually went back to my cell. I spent like, and then after that, they sent me to medical for like 2 hours. And then so this is the thing. So I go to medical, right? I'm in medical and I'm just like processing everything. And they sent a social worker in there to talk to me because I asked the producers, can I talk to the show psychologist, psychiatrist? They said, no, they couldn't do that. They was like, we can't do that for you. But they sent the social worker who doesn't know anything about the show to talk to me, and I could have like easily spilled the beans, but I didn't. I just said, I can't speak to you. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know why they sent him there to talk to me in the first place. But then they said
you have to just lie to their face the whole time, which feels like it would have a limited amount of actual like therapeutic effect.
Yeah, I'm literally still lying to them. They're like, what's wrong? I'm like, why are they sending the social worker? I want to talk to the show psychologist. They told me they couldn't do that for me. So I go they send me to medical, and all these COs are standing outside. It was like, so you think he's 60 days in? Yeah, he's 60 days in. Because they made a big scene with me. The other CO who was in Sun 2 made a huge scene with me being in there. So it was like, yeah, he's definitely. So like then so one of the officers who knew I was a part of the program came in and slipped me a note and said, and it was from Higley, a little stupid ass note, he was like, good luck in life. The producers will meet you at this location. And then that's when I got into like the prison van. And then the most scariest thing that happened to me in there was when so they took me out of medical, then they took me to booking to get my stuff. Then they put me in this cell with a bunch of immigrants, deportees, and like who's getting like shipped out. Like I was in this room with one toilet with like 6 other people. So small. And I was paired. I'm like, someone's can fuck me up in here. There's no cameras in here. It was no cameras in there. The camera crew had already left to go meet me at my location. But I was petrified. I'm like, if these dudes, like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, they're not, because in the contract, you know, I guess it says like, you're supposed to have cameras on you at all times. That was the only time they didn't have cameras on me. I was in there in this little small, tight space with, 6 people who didn't speak any English. One was rocking back and forth. I'm like, I'm about to get jumped in here. I didn't know what the hell was going to happen to me. And then that's when I got released and walked out.
Is there a waiver that you had to sign? It's like, I might get jumped and I can't sue anyone over it if I do.
I didn't read my contract, so I don't know how. I didn't read the contract. I just start signing shit. I got always read your contracts. Always read it. I just be signing shit. I'm like, I would just sign my life. I could just sign. They could have hung me, and I would have just didn't even know. Yeah, so it probably was in there. Probably, I don't know. You gotta go back and look.
So like you go in, and also the other gangster part too is that you meet everyone and they're like, okay, who wants to go in first? And they wait, and it shows you like raising your hand first. Was that planned out? Was that scripted, or did you really volunteer to go first?
So when I volunteered to go in, the executive producer came out and said, hey, cut, let's talk about this, because they said, let's just talk about this real quick. They were like, discuss it real quick. But I was like, I'm ready to go in first. I'm like, I wanted to make a statement. I want to make a staple that I'm not pussy to go in here. Everybody else be, I'm like, no, I want to, not saying, I'm talking about in the past. I'm not saying that Daniel, Quell, and Fabian were scared, because I knew they had potential, to stay longer. But like, I didn't want to be that person that was like, oh no, I didn't want to, I wanted to be like, I want to put my feet in the water first, but I definitely knew Quell, Daniel, and Fabian had a way more chance of staying longer than I did, because they have more experience, more fighting credentials, and when I found out Fabian tapped out, I was, would never thought in a million years, because, I just knew, because even in my commentary, I'm like, I don't think that's just commentary. I knew they were ready. I'm like, I got to make, I was just emphasizing it, trying to make commentary, but I knew they were ready,
Do you understand why he tapped out now after watching the season? Do you think that was because I think the reason was because he was kind of being targeted in a way by one of the guards
yes, and
there.
that's the thing with Fabian. Like, you guys don't see, even though I don't like him after the show, but during he actually did great things in there. Like me and him, we were in intake together. Okay, we were in intake together. And he was actually like helping the immigrants and helping people translate. Like, he was doing he was doing a lot in there.
And we don't see any of that. We just see him as like a pugilist.
Yeah, you guys don't, and that's what they want you to show. I'm telling you, Fabian did wonders in intake. Wonders. Even though I like his ass now because of some behind the scenes stuff, but that man did wonders in that jail. Like, he was helping every day he was helping people translate. I was in intake for 4 days. That's why I kind of got pissed when I saw him. Like, oh, he can't spend no time in there. But he was in intake with me for about like a day or two. A day. I don't know. It's all jumbled up because they're editing. But he actually did a lot. Like, he did a lot. Like, when came in, when I was sitting down, when he came in, he was hugging all the immigrants and hugging all the people who he helped in intake and Gym Pop. But yeah.
We don't see any of that because I guess they kind of cast him as his role in the editing room.
Oh, and yeah,
fit into that role.
I'll tell you, if it wasn't for that dumbass role, Fabian would have. I don't know, because I do have my suspicions on why he tapped out. The real reason why he tapped out, I do have my suspicions. But
can you tell us why, or is that behind the scenes?
I don't want to start any drama because he probably watching. Like, I don't want to start any drama. But let's just say April 20th. Let's just say April 20th. We're gonna put it April 20th. That's just my little prediction. But if it wasn't for that dumbass rule, because even if I'm wrong about like my own reasons why I think he tapped out, I think if it wasn't for that dumbass rule, he would have stayed to the end. He would have thrived. I'm telling you, he did 5 years in prison. What the hell? 60 days ain't nothing for him. But if I was in his position, he could have slapped the shit out of Smith and he wouldn't have gotten in trouble. He could have slapped the shit out of him. And production wouldn't have let him stay on lockdown for 96 hours. They got to get they wouldn't have let him do that. That's why they asked him to continue to stay. Like, they wouldn't have let him. That's why not my story, not my, that's his experience. But I will give him this. He did do a lot in there that they don't show. He did a lot of good things.
There, also when you guys were talking about going in on the show, like originally, and like right when you kind of had like raised your hand and you're all talking about it, Nina says something like, "Oh, it's going to be a breeze," and then you turn to her and you're like, remember season 7? What were you talking about when you said that? Was there a certain thing that you had in mind when you mentioned it?
Because I think she was talking to Fabian about like him being in prison before, and she was like, it's going to be a breeze. And I was like, oh, season 7, you had former inmates and people still tapped out. That was like what I was referring to.
It almost seems that whenever you've got someone that either has prior experience or COs, aside from season 9 maybe, but a lot of the times they don't last as long as the people that you
so that's what I was like, because I think she was saying it was going to be a breeze to him because he did time, and I was just like, season 7. I'm like, it was former inmates in there too that that didn't make it, but
See, and I got a theory. I want to get your impression on this theory, but my theory is that if you're in there and you know that there's no chance of you getting out until you just do the time or come up with bail or whatever, like if you're just in there, it's a different mentality than knowing at every second of the day, like I could leave right now if I wanted to, and you have to constantly fighting that.
We have that privilege. It's just their ego. It's just like, you understand our ego. A lot of our egos and our pride got to us this season because they in past seasons got to use that signal anytime they goddamn want to complain to them.
I want a soda.
We couldn't do nothing because we were so scared. They put in our minds, if you use that signal, we would go home, which was not even the case. They kind of like put fear in us. And so that's why I never used the signal. That was the only time I used the signal was my last day. I could have used the signal let me tell you, I could have used that signal when they did the name change. I could have used that signal when they were pressuring me. I could use that signal I have really moments and I really could use that signal, but I didn't. I used it, but and everyone's like, he just didn't want to be. I'm like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, they're not just pulling us out all the time like they're showing. Like, they're not. I mean, especially with me, they pulled me out on that last day for an interview. That last day. So, and they just somehow chop and edited a bunch of stuff. But
and I guess the other part too is that you're kind of forced to lie constantly to the people you're surrounded with, even the people that are making friends with. Like, does that just eat away at you constantly? That you're like, what are you thinking as you're making? Like, if someone tells you your story and you give them your fake backstory, like, what's going on in your head? Are you like, I'm an asshole, or they're going to find out, I'm going to get in trouble?
It was very conflicting. That's why in one of my interviews, you see me say, I'm just lying to myself. When I say I'm lying to myself, I meant to say I'm lying to these people. I'm lying to myself. That's what I meant into that. And because he actually was like, do you have a problem with being undercover? Is that the issue? I'm like, yes, I have a problem being undercover because I made genuine friends in there. I still talk to these people. I was just outside the show, So, and even they tell me, it was like, dude, that they're showing you, I know people act crazy, but they was like, they're not like they're very shocked on it, but they're like, that is not the person we saw in there. I'm like, I know.
There was one wild. I mean, you had a couple of things that you said that like they frame it and they use it as like the cliffhangers. But one of the ones that I think I've seen a lot of people comment on. It's like you said you never had a black friend before, and they painted this whole thing that your roommate.
Oh my god!
Was like the first, and it was like this is the first black friend I've ever had, and they took him away from me. Like
I meant to say, God, I don't know why I even said like I have had black friends. I've had I never had a black male best companion. I have black male friends, but I don't open up to them in a stature that because me and Chosen, we had like deep conversations because I knew Chosen 2 nights and a day. I didn't know him for a day. I knew him 2 nights and a day, until they pulled him out, and we'll get to that. But I've had black friends. I never just had a black figure that I can just be myself around. And that's where I was going with that. That they just made it seem like he's never had a black friend. I made myself look so weak on that show because I'm like, oh my God. But I don't know. It's weird.
Well, and I guess on the thing that it came directly after that was that he gets moved out, and then you start the way that it's cut is that like you're accusing production of intentionally having you make friends with someone, remove them just to get a reaction out of you. And then there's almost like a gaslighting scene where they're like, we didn't do that, Corey, are you sure? And
yes, they did.
You're them back and forth. So yeah, what actually happened there?
The day Chosen got moved, they came and switched our mics. And they had me and 2 other people in another cell go downstairs and sit in gym pop until they got done. They were working on that mics for 40 minutes. They were working on that mic. And everyone was like, how are they getting free rack time? How are they getting extra rack time? Because we were just chilling, sitting down in the gym pop. It was me, Chosen, another black guy, and another Mexican. We just sitting back talking. And then, so Chosen was like, yeah, this is Rock 99 Media. He was calling up the production crew, and I'm just like, fuck, they're really not helping my case by being in there. They were like, yeah, this is 60 days in. They were just saying that this has to be 60 days in, and then they were changing my mics, and then they were changing another person's mic. It was just weird, and so like they were so the little white camera. It was like a camera in Gym Pop. They would go up to it. They were like, so I think Chosen went up to it. Somebody went up to it and said, "Are you 60 days in?" And the camera moved and said, "We're answering their questions with the camera." I'm like, these people are ridiculous. Like, I'm like, what the hell are they doing?
Were they answering yes or no for anyone listening? Were they?
Yeah, they were doing something like that. They were doing that, yes or no.
So they were making the camera like nod.
Yeah, they were making the camera nod. So they were watching me the whole time. Like they were like, and so Chosen didn't go. That's the thing. He just went to Son 1. He told me he was moving to the kitchen, and I was very happy for him. But he was even more pissed off. He was like, damn, somebody's trying to ruin this. Like, they don't show everything. They were like, damn, like, I just got, I asked God to send me somebody, and like now I'm getting moved. And I was very happy. I'm very happy for him that he got moved to the kitchen. But he didn't get moved to the kitchen. He just got moved to Sound 1. He didn't ask to get moved. And he even said, he was like, what happens if I don't want to get moved? He was like, we're going to have to drag you out of here. So even if it wasn't production, it was somebody on that sheriff's team, because they thought it was a gaslighting situation. And I've gotten confirmation from behind the scenes that they did move him because I was at risk of blowing my cover. And they had every right to, but don't lie to me. Just say, hell yeah, we did. We think you're saying way too much, or we think he knows too much. He knew a lot. I didn't tell him, but he knew. He knew.
So you had the toothache. You had being completely severed from any support system for as long as you knew it was going to be 2 months plus, right? You had the fact that you were being isolated and felt like it was being done to you on purpose. If there was like all the different things that led to you throwing the signal, is there one of those that if it had changed, you would have lasted way longer? Or
the toothache.
So the toothache was really the main reason you want to get.
Oh yeah, I like having myself by myself. I know it makes it seem like I can't be alone, because they asked you questions about me in that moment, but I got over that Chosen situation. Like, I got over it. Like, and even with the name change, I forgot about the name change until they brought it up in the interview. I forgot about it. I literally forgot about it until they brought it up to me in the interview. I'm like, I don't care. Like, that's the thing. Like, I liked having myself by myself. I can shit in peace, and I didn't really care as to the stature they make it, but it's just really heavily dramatized. Like, I did say those things, and with the bipolar thing, I'm like, damn, some days I'm happy in here, some days I'm sad in here. Maybe I am bipolar. Then they said, okay, we're going to give him the crazy narrative. I'm like, oh God. Because I've never seen a character like me on the show, on 60 Days In before. I've never seen it. That was the first time someone ever run production for something. The first time. So, and I was right half the time. I may have been wrong, but I was really right about that Chosen situation. Because I was dead set on that Chosen situation.
There's a very real possibility that there's someone watching this, like now or in the future, basically, that is doing research because they want to go on 60 Days In, or maybe they got selected and they're like, I want to go and find anyone that's ever talked about the. So like, what would be the top like sort of tips that you tell someone, not just going into jail, but going into jail on a 60 Days In show? Like, what are some like hacks that you wish you would have known going in?
Be careful what you say and what you do. Because if you want to go on there, be on TV, then go for it. I mean, hell, you Nina Scriven, honey. Like, if you want to go in there and cause change. If you want to if you're an entertainer and you think you have what it takes to do 60 Days In, go. But just be careful and mindful of what you say and do. Even if you want to go on TV, at least try to make change. At least try to, make an impact on someone's life. At least try to, because there's people who go in there who claim who claim that they're not there for TV and there for change, don't change shit. They don't change nothing. But as you see, but my advice would be like, be mindful in what you do and say, and don't put yourself in uncomfortable situations if you can't take it.
Did you make any major mistakes that you like, if you could go back, you'd be like, oh, I wouldn't have done that one thing?
I wouldn't have been vulnerable. If I can go back, I wouldn't have been as vulnerable because I'm not an open in person. Like the whole coming out, my family, that's the thing with that. I didn't feel like I needed to come out. My family just didn't acknowledge it. You know, they were like, okay, we don't care. Like today, they're just like, oh, we don't care. We thought you already did come out because I have pansexual on my Instagram bio before. It's not there anymore, but like I've always was very open with myself and my sexuality. Like, but being vulnerable and oversharing, I overshared too much about myself. I overly shared too much about myself, way too much. Because I look at this as like my little real world, moment. I'm just like, okay, because the fans are right. I did make it about me. I made that whole experience about me. I did. I mean, I didn't want to snitch on anybody. Like, I made it all about me, So, I mean, was it wrong? Was it right? It wasn't wrong or right. It was just, what they chose to show.
And
they asked me about me. That's all they did was ask about me. They didn't. All my interviews, they didn't ask me about any other inmates but me. But me. They was like, do you think your family? It's always about me. It was always them asking about me. They didn't, and chosen. But that's pretty much it. They asked me about me. So I talked about me, Well,
and you even said that when you were watching this show growing up, that's what you were there for. You were there for the stories of the people that were in.
Like people, I always loved the participants' backstories and stuff. So I'm like, okay, this is a place I can share my life with. But turns out people didn't like my life. They're like, we don't care that you're pansexual. We don't care. I love reading comments. They're like, we don't care. Nothing's even happening to you yet. Like, why are you tapping out? I love reading comments. I'm like, oh shit. They're like, what is he? Get him off. He's annoying me. I'm like, I would annoy me too. I was like on the wrong show to do that. On the wrong show.
Well, so in part of the interviews, and then they're talking about that, like your sexuality comes up, and they have this question like, "Oh, aren't you concerned that'll make you a target?" And then it's like it cuts to you with like a deer in the headlights look of like, "Oh crap, I didn't."
Oh no, it never was about that. Thought to me. It was never like because I knew the environment. I knew Utah. I thought, and mind you, there was other gay people in there. I made a gay friend on the show. He was in intake for like a day. I think it was other gay people in there. It was
Is it a secret? Is everyone trying to keep it a secret, or is there not a big deal?
No, it was openly gay people in jail. It was openly, as much as people want to say, oh, everyone knew Corey was gay going in there, and that's why Fabian didn't want to. Like Fabian, he said he didn't want to take my chips because everyone knew I was gay. He's a liar. You're lying at that point. If you didn't want to take the Doritos, don't say, oh, because it would have made me seem gay. Do you know how many gay people were like? How many people used to come up and give me their shampoo and stuff, and like. I would give them chips. Like, no, and Correll would even vouch for me for this. Like, no one give a fuck about sexuality. Like, I mean, people didn't go and flaunt it. I wouldn't go out and like flaunt it. Like, who cares? Because people can see I'm a little bit flamboyant, but people were nice to me. No, if people knew I was gay, they would have made that a whole episode. Someone found out he was gay. Someone found out his sexual. Like, they would have made. I'm telling you, they would have definitely. Because the little scene when they were talking about Cowboy, talking about something he's gay. They could have used that little clip and made that about me, but they said that about Cowboy. They would have found a way to try to find someone to notice my sexuality, or they would have had a scene with someone ask me about my sexuality, but they didn't. People that's one thing. Some people on this show that I'm on the show with will say anything to make he even doused their time there. Like he even tried to, like when we were trying to be on good terms, me and Fabian, he even tried to tell me that people knew I was gay. He was like, oh, everyone knew Corey, but like it's alive if you say everyone. Like why didn't I get beat up for it? Why did other people accept my stuff? Why did Chosen ask for me to be in my cell?
Do you think that was part of him putting on like a role for the camera?
Yes,
too?
Because he has a prison mentality. He went in there with a prison mentality, and I'm not trying to talk about him too much, but like, goddamn, he went in there with a prison mentality. Even the first episode, if you go back and watch the show. You don't go in the shop and get shanked up and flipped up. I'm like, what the fuck is he trying? Where is he on? Where is he at? I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to get poked up. I'm like, wait, because I know Provo, Utah. Okay, I've been to Utah. I'm like, these ain't the type of people that. I'm like, come on, stop it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what's wrong with him?
My first thought when the shank came out, my first thought was like, man, everyone's gonna lose their combs because of this guy. You know what I mean? Like, because that's essentially what what the logical conclusion of that is.
Yeah,
I can
it's like,
turn
oh,
this
this may
into
be
a
a
weapon.
danger. Like you're just snitching at this point.
Yeah,
You're
you're
creating
just
shit to
making a
snitch on.
problem.
You're just creating shit to just snitch on. I mean, like that's a true snitch. I mean, you just snitching at this point. 'Cause nobody can say on this show. I'm telling you, like you're finding shit. Like you're just finding shit. Like at least Quell is going to actually like discovering it on his own. He's not going to go make Shanks in. He's not like that's why I respect Quell and Damien so much. They're not trying to cause problems with these inmates. They're actually
What about
trying
the
to
little
help
balloon?
them.
What about the little balloon that he smuggled in?
I got through. I said no, he didn't. I said who gave him that? Because I'm telling you, they would. I don't know. I'm not trying to throw any theories. I'm a conspiracy theorist too. I'm pissed off because he didn't give me no tobacco. Shit, I needed some nicotine. Like, at least go out and share the shit. Like, damn. At least plant it somewhere and let somebody find it.
So, but do you think that he didn't bring that in from the outside? You think he got it from inside the jail?
My opinion, I don't think he brought that in because they would have caught that in intake. He went through all intake. He even took a shower. Like this first day, like no one caught that. Like what in season 6, what was it? Season 6. It was a scene where the sheriff gave somebody a key to handcuffs, and production was like, "We have an issue." And then the sheriff was like, "Oh, we gave it to him." So they probably used. There's so many theories, but they will tell you one thing. So I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny. I really don't know myself, but me personally, in my opinion, I think they gave that to him to spice up the show.
Well, I'm glad you brought up conspiracy theory because there was another scene when you were in like the original intake cell, and there was a guy that they have this clip, and it almost they're kind of painting it like, oh, we've got an unstable one here, but he's basically saying like everyone went and had food, and when they came back, they had too much energy. And it almost seemed like the implication is that he was saying that they were putting something in the food to make people act weird, and he was avoiding food for that reason. Is that actually how that conversation went?
That's not what. Yeah, well, let me tell you, that dude could have fucked everybody up in there. But that let me tell you, that dude used to complain about us talking all the time, and that's when you hear me say, I'm like, because we got energy. Because it was getting annoying to me too. Because I'm surprised they didn't show the scene when he was crying on the phone. He was crying on the phone. And I was like, is it that fucking bad? I yelled it out. And they don't show it. I was like, is it that fucking bad? And I was like, fuck, let me calm down. Because I'm thinking I'm cool with everybody there. I'm like, let me stop. You go and come up here and beat my ass.
Yeah, you're cool until you're not.
I said, let me stop. I ain't that damn tough. But it was annoying because he used to tell us to shut the fuck up and just like shut up. Like, ugh. And so they was about to whoop his ass. Like they were all could have just jumped him, but like he was a big ass Siberian dude. So I'm like, I don't know if they all could have took him on. But he went down and snitched on us. They don't show that either. He went down and told the CEO until he get moved. And he went back up there, and that's the only time they was like, you snitching on us? What the fuck you snitching on us? Like that shit was more than what they showed because they was really about to get in his ass. Like, but it would have been a really good fight. I mean, shit. That's when I was like, damn, it's about to be a fight in here. Yes, it's about to be a fight. I was pumped. I'm like, I want somebody to throw away because they was like, they was on his head. Like I was like, oh shit, now this is 60 days in. Like I got my moments. I was like, damn, this is 60 days in. Like, yeah, like I'm like amped it up. And then that's when I don't know. I guess that's when I yelled. Like I was like, is it that bad? Like I shouldn't have done that, but like, yeah, I don't know. But intake is so much better than Jet Pop.
What was the snitch? Just that people were talking, and he went.
Yeah,
and told
he went to telling us that we were talking, like that we were being too loud, and I'm like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Just be here quiet and let you sleep? He slept his time away. That's his fault. He didn't, and then he got pissed off. There's another scene. He got pissed off because we didn't wake him up and get his food. And they were like, this is our fucking job to wake you up to get your fucking food. I said, whoa, they were showing me that. I was like, what the fuck? I said,
is the COs yelling at him?
Who?
The COs are yelling at him?
The inmates. The inmates, because they go do food call. And he will sleep the whole day. That's when you hear me. I'm like, he just sleeps. He sleeps. He just sleeps. He just sleeps all day. He sleeps his time away. Only time he wake up is to go down and yell on the phone and cry on the phone.
Do you think that was like a drug withdrawal thing?
I don't know what the fuck he was going through, but he was funny too. He was funny too. Like, he used to crack jokes at nighttime. That's why it was so weird. And they don't show him going up to Pedro because I thought he was going to go up and hit Pedro, but he comes up to Pedro and gives him a hug. They don't show that either. But
another conspiracy theory that I've come across on 60 Days In is that they give everyone intentionally weak cover stories just for the drama. Do you think that that's true?
When I told them motherfuckers I had 90 days for some ounce of weed, they said 290. I was like, yeah, they do that. They really do water down the cover stories. I was driving through Bel Air and I was driving through here and I stopped to go get me a tire and I ended up in here. Like, what? They do to get, if they ever do future seasons, they should definitely do better with their cover stories.
Well, how early on did you know what your cover story was?
I think we came up. I don't know. I think when I got picked up, I don't know, because they kept changing shit. They kept changing my cover stories. Like they changed my cover story like 3 times in one day. So I didn't know what the fuck to say. But like that,
is the production that's doing that? It's all production with your cover story.
I think I don't know if it's production. No, I don't think. I think it was the officers. Officer Tenor, he had no business doing there because he was giving me. He gave me Scarlett's last name. Phillips was Scarlett's cover last name, not mine. I'm Pratt. So I'm like, he just fucking up. I don't know. I think it was all, I'm not gonna blame production for that one. It was not them.
Well, what would happen if someone asked you what you're in here for and you're like, I killed somebody? Like, what would they pull you out because you lied about your fake cover story? And because I would assume that it's not like someone can look up your paperwork and see what your cover story was. It's all fake anyway, right? Could you just say, I got caught with 800 pounds of meth, like an underwater submarine? Like, what would anyone do about that if you made it up?
I mean, they couldn't. They would just probably if you like, the only thing people would be like, oh, it doesn't make sense because you're 60 days in. I don't know. It's just, yeah, they got weak ass cover stories.
So if I sign up and they call me in to 60 Days In and I go in and they give me a weak cover story, I can just like nod. And when someone actually asks me, I could just substitute my own that's better than the one that they gave me. Oh
yeah, and that's when I knew yeah, pretty much. I mean, going into intake when I was like, going to my cell and intake, I just knew the questions was gonna come. I just knew. And that was 2 days. People were asking if I was 60 days in for 2 days. 2 days. 2 days. And I was just like, they don't show it either. I told Pedro, I'm like, why are you grilling me so hard? I'm like, I was getting pissed off at it that second day. I was getting really irritated. I'm like, because he was like, it's mighty funny you came from San Bernardino and dun. I'm like, oh my God, please leave me the fuck alone. And it was just irritating. And then I thought how to use the signal then, because everyone that day was like, then that's when I used the black card. And that kind of got me out of that. I used my black card that day. I had to. I said, these motherfuckers ain't about to jump on me on TV.
Do you think that aside from the people that are on the show 60 Days In, but just like the normal inmates, how much do you think that they're acting up just because there's cameras there? Like if there were no cameras and there was absolutely no expectation that anyone could possibly be on 60 Days, do you think people would be acting wildly different, or would it not make that much of a difference? In past seasons,
I think the inmates definitely act up for the camera. But this season, these people wanted to get in, do their time, and get the fuck out. I'm telling you, that's why I'm telling you, like, the participants cause more of the problems than the inmates. And that's why they're showing us more than the inmates. That's why they're really focusing on us more this season than the inmates, because we're the ones kicking doors and having toothaches and getting pissed off about Doritos, and we're the ones causing the problems, okay? Of course, not all of my cast members are causing problems, but like those inmates were very civil. Like I was like, damn, this black dude's like letting me use this shampoo, and I remember tried to trade him trips for. He's like, oh, you didn't have to give me this. Like I'm just looking out for you. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, it was cool. I used to have days like when I was in Gym Pop, like when Chosen left, I used to used to go to a GED program. He used to let me use his headphones. I would go down and get nail clippers. And I remember I asked her, I was like, you care if I take these upstairs? She was like, just bring back down. And that's why I'm like, I was shocked that Smith is acting like this, because he was so nice to me when I was in there. And I was like so shocked to see how he acting. But like I would like go upstairs, put a little towel on my head, dry my hair, and just like do my little nail clippers and go back down and go take a nap. Like I was chilling in there, but they just, they showed me just in my mental moments,
Did any of the inmates ever give you a breakdown on like the jailhouse rules? Like, because like when
Hell
you said,
no, that's the thing. I was no rules. That's what I'm seeing. Like, I'm like, no one told me not to associate with this person, not to associate with that person, not to like. It wasn't no jail law. That's what Fabian. I feel like he was expecting that because he probably watched past seasons and see me. I was gonna make this my own experience. Even if I was on season 8. I probably would have left like day 3, day 2. But like this season, I was like, okay, I can make something out of this. I can make something out of this. And with the Doritos, I was so pissed. Like I was just like, okay, let's. Like I didn't even think they were show that because it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Like in that moment, but it was just like, I don't know. But I don't know. I think he had an expectation of what the show was going to be like, and it wasn't. It wasn't how I thought it was going to be like. So I think we all had like an idea. Besides Nina never seen the show, so she didn't have any idea. But I thought I had an idea, and my idea didn't come to life. So
is that really true? Because that's so hard for me to believe that you would go even after you got accepted and you were like, okay, I'm going to be on this show. You wouldn't sit down and binge some of the episodes.
Oh, look. See me when I got on the show, I was going straight back to season 5 and going on back. Like I was like, let me see what I can do. But I think some people like caught up, and then some people had an idea. Like Miss Scarlett thought she was gonna be like the female pod boss. Like, honey, no, you're just mean.
Was there any iteration of like all the different ways you thought this could go in your head? Did it at any point?
I just knew I was gonna get hit in the face. I always thought I was just always gonna get hit in the face there. I just knew. You
feel like you missed out if you didn't get hit.
I promise you, I did not take my sexuality into consideration. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Was there ever a chance in your mind that you would have been a pod boss?
No. Oh no. I had no desire to be a pod boss. I had no desire. Like Chosen had more pod boss status than anybody in there. Everyone loved him, but no, I had no desire to be a pod boss, be a tough guy. But I was going to defend myself. I was like going to talk my shit back. Like I got into a few little spats. Like this dude was arguing over Uno in phase 1. I'm like, you can't play Uno rules with phase 1. I'm like, that's ridiculous. He goes, we'll do that. I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. Like, why are we playing? This is not Uno. I was like, they don't show any of my debacles with some of the inmates in intake. Because intake is very like a very intense environment, So like everybody on edge, So I mean, I had a few spats that they didn't show, which I'm happy, but because I don't want people to think, I'm just this big because I'm like, one of these white dudes can whoop my ass for real. They could, but I'm not gonna like back down from these motherfuckers. Like, what's up? Like, but that wasn't my mentality. I was going to make friends. I just wanted to make friends. I mean, and that's where I fucked up because it ruined my mission. It like kind of like ruined my mission. But it was like at that point, about day 4, I was like, fuck this mission. I like literally I had my mom like, fuck this mission. I'm just chill and make friends. Like, fuck this mission. These people ain't on shit. I'm like, they just own drugs, but they not own. I mean, what the fuck are they really doing? There's some gangs in here. I mean,
this is a weird question. So like, I don't even know if there's the right, but like, if you could go into jail and be like with Nina and Scarlett, if you go in not as Corey, but like a female version of Corey and join the women's jail, or go through it as a guy, would you rather go in the girl jail or a guy jail?
I would rather go. I would love to have an jail with Nina and AB. I would love to. Oh, yes, I would love to. Oh, because the women are iconic this season. I look forward to looking to their episodes. Like, I love every minute, every bit of the female confrontations. But AB says, she goes, a little girl, who you talking to, little girl? I'm like, because like the difference between like, TV and, being mean, AB was just having a spat with her roommate. Scarlett, you're just a mean person. In real life and outside life, but I mean, I love the female pod. I love Luna. Michael loves, I love Luna. I mean, I know she's a shit person. I mean, in real life, but like, I love the way she comes off on TV. Like, it's great. It was great to watch. I mean, it was entertaining.
Do you have contact with any of the female inmates, not the show members, but like female inmates
Oh no.
from the season? I just wonder if like there's like a support group for people that have been to that jail at that time to just discuss like their
I know
experience.
people. I could like 6 people from Utah County Jail that still reaches out. But no, I didn't see any female inmates.
How from all the inmates that you actually met in there, how bad was the recidivism? Because that in previous seasons, that was almost like the hot word they would always be talking about. They're trying to limit recidivism, right? Like people
What's
leaving.
recidivism?
This is when you get out of jail and then you end back up in jail again, like in this constant loop. And part of the previous seasons, they're trying to like.
Okay, yeah. So like people there, I met so many people there. There was like it was like a encyclopedia to them. They knew everything about the jail, everything. They've been through this pod and that pod and that. And some of the people, I'm like, I'm like, if that's why I'm like, you can't help everybody. Like there was nothing I could do to help these people, but give them like job information about like going on like different now like other information. But like some people in there, I'm like, damn, I see why you in here, but I don't see why you're here this long. But I see why you in here. You know, like I see why you in here, but I don't think you should got that much time because it's just like you just need rehab because you just fucking up. You just like coming back here. Like I'm like, really? It was like one dude. He was like 25 years old. I'm like, damn, you've been in here how many times? He go, I've been here like 18 times. I'm always in here. I'm like, I don't know. And he was, yeah.
Like 5 or 6 times a year.
Yeah. He's back and forth. And then he told me he got furloughed. I'm like, wait, you got laid off your job? He goes, no, furloughed. I could go leave and come back. I'm like, oh, this is all new to me. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I didn't really care about the prison politics. Like, there was no prison politics. I think that's what Fabian was expecting, like the prison politics. I think he was expecting prison politics, and there was no prison politics.
Well, because it's jail, not prison, right? So that seems like it would make a fairly big deal, no?
I think past seasons, the prison, like season 5, like they were all about like the race. You can't sit that like that's more like that's mortifying. Like I respect people like Abner, like he's a great character on that show. Mark, I love him. But like season 5, I was like, damn, these people really don't want to like mix in the races and just like, oh, that's how prison is. But we're supposed to change that, y'all. We're supposed to change that. Like, let's show them you can, you know? You can't talk to the black person. You can't talk to the white person. You can't talk, like, that's legit racism right there. I don't want to be known as a racist on TV, you know?
How realistic do you think it is that 60 Days In could solve that particular issue, like the racist segregation?
They couldn't. They could never.
Impossible, right?
They could never. If they could, season 5 had potential of changing that narrative. Okay. They had really good potential to change that narrative. But, I mean, I guess people go in there with that you know, but I don't know. I think, yeah, I think they like to show the racism. They like to show it. They like to show that. I mean, that's what sells, you know. Negativity sells, you know.
I wanted to ask this before. I want to make sure I don't forget, but you know, you said you get criticism for tapping out early, and that like there's almost like a competition on who can stay in the longest, or guessing like who's going to make it to the end. Do you get paid extra or extra bonuses or anything at all for staying the full 60 days versus tapping out after 3?
Different. Sorry for cutting you off. This season's different because all our contracts are not the same. Like, I can't even speak on like what everyone else got paid, but like, I didn't lose. I mean, me personally, I'm still. I mean, again, I can't speak on everyone's contract, but like my contract, everyone signed different contracts. Like, it's not like they even told us this. It's not like how everyone else contracts in the past. Like, they each get them out and this and this. So like, you see people from past seasons talking about, oh, how much you get paid on it? This season was totally different. Okay, this season was totally different. I'd be hearing people like, you get $5,000, you get $5,000. Like, no, like you and see, with me being an entertainer and being on shows before, that was the main thing I looked at is the pay. And I negotiate. I feel like everyone negotiates. I mean, at least I did. I negotiated my contract. Like, I negotiated it with the pay and stuff. So
your contract didn't have anything about like performative, like if you make it to 60 days,
you get this much. You do get like, I don't know. That's the thing. It's different because I still got mine. I mean,
Because I guess the main reason that I'm even asking is that the motivation, once you're in there, the motivation to stay the full 60 days, even if you got a toothache, even if you feel like people might be onto you and you're putting yourself in danger, is it like a monetary thing, or is it just 100% ego? Is it just like, I don't want to look
ego.
like
I think it's ego and money driven too. I mean, of course, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get paid every week by being here. Like, I'm gonna get paid this certain amount of money by being here. Like, so that was my motivation. It was the money. Okay, it was the money, but it didn't stop. It's just so weird. Everyone's contract is different this season. Like I think I was talking to one of my cast members about my contract. It was like, oh, that was in your contract. Oh, that wasn't in me. I'm like, yeah. So it's all different. I mean, it's all different.
So what was the first thing that you did when you got out of jail, off camera and everything? Like, what was the first thing that you were like, man, I've been waiting to do this ever since I got out?
When I got out, I went to my hotel room. All my clothes were wet and damp and mildewed. And I went to go give me some ibuprofen from the front desk at the hotel. Because they didn't give a shit about me going to a dentist. They didn't give a shit about that. And then the producer took me to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Is that where you wanted to go? Was that on your mind of like, this is the first thing I want on my way out?
Oh, I wanted some Raising Cane's, but they was like, oh, we just want to go. He took me to, dinner and talked to me. And he laughed the whole time when I was there. Like, I cracked him up. I was like, can I go back in? I was like, I want to go back in. I feel better now. I want to go back in. I was like, I want to go back in. They was like, no. I was like, no, yeah, I want to go back in. I was like, you just squeeze me back in. But I think they were just over me at that point because, I got on their nerves. Like, it was one producer. She should just roll her eyes at me when she saw me. I said, hi, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, what's up? Yeah,
What would there be annoyed at? Like, you're giving them clearly you gave enough content to fill up 5 episodes.
I was annoyed as fuck. The Gatorade gate. It was a whole Gatorade gate. I was so pissed that the COs would not let me get this Gatorade for this dude who's going with withdrawals, and I was going to steal it. And then I, so pissed, I flicked the cameras off. I was like, fuck you guys and fuck him too. Yeah, I was annoyed. And I actually talked a lot of shit about them. And I was like, you guys are awful. You guys are worthless pieces of shit. I was like so mad at them because I just thought like, yeah, that not one of my problems moments. I was just like, because I knew what they were doing. Because they had so many times to come get me for an interview and they would just walk past my cell. And then they didn't come get me to my last day. I guess they were like waiting for me to tap up, but I mean, but I apologized to them when I got out. I was like, I'm so sorry for cussing you guys out. I'm like, I just was under a lot of stress, I was under a lot of emotion, I didn't know what to believe, what not to believe. Like, I mean, I didn't know what was a show and what was not a show, so.
Have you fully recovered from like being in jail mind state at this point? Or are you like, do you have like PTSD from it or what?
No, I think watching it when it first came out was very hard. Oh, it was very hard watching it at first. But
like watching yourself? Oh
yeah. It was very, very tough.
What was the hardest thing for you to watch yourself doing out of all the footage they had of you?
Me in my cell saying, gotcha, had a friend, gotcha. I was like, oh, poor baby. I said, let me give him a hug. I was just like, oh man, I was like, somebody go hug him. I'm like, I just want to hug myself. I just wanted to hug myself in the TV. Like, I just wanted to hug myself. Like, it was, I mean, oh man. Yeah, I think that was the hardest part. Because it was just like, but people don't understand. We couldn't use the signals. It was like, why are they talking to the cameras, right? Because we can't talk to these people. If we use signal, they said we out. That's why you never see the girls use the signal. You don't see them use the signal. You just, because like I'm a talker. I love to talk. I mean, so that was like my little confessional diary in my camera in my room.
That make me so concerned for you or anyone when I see them on the show and they're talking directly to the camera. My thought is, dude, you're gonna get.
They always talk to the camera. So it was like, I mean, you think the other inmates don't talk to the cameras in their cell too?
Really? So everyone talks to the cameras directly like that, and
yes, every camera, I mean, well, we talk directly because we know them, but everybody be in the camera doing little stupid shit, saying little stupid shit, throwing up gang signs, and as you see in the first previews, everyone's in the camera like everyone does that. So, but that was like my little confessional diary room, like my little confessional. And that's why they didn't need to pull me out, because I used to tell them everything in the camera. Like, like my dad.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah, they didn't need, like, I'm like, you guys, I used to tell them, like, you guys come get me. Can you please, I'm like, you guys come get me so I can talk to you about something. And they wanted me to use the signal. And I never used the signal. My pride was too big to use the signal until that too thick.
That's a great point, actually. What if you just like went to your cell and just laid in your bed and didn't move and just stared at the ceiling? Would that make it so they'd like come in and pull you out and get some more interaction from you?
Oh yeah, that was my plan. I was literally going to stay in my bed and not like go out and do any scenes. I was not going to give them any more content because I was drained. Okay, like I was like, damn, I'm giving them way too much. I gave them way too much. Like I had like 4 different storylines. Like it was just like I'm giving them way too fucking much. Like I'm like, and they're not even willing to come get me, but they got me my last day. It was like really weird.
Oh, so what's like the post experience been like? Like reset? Do you have people hitting you up and saying like you're my favorite one? Do you got people hating on you?
It's been so bad. And it's not because of the fans.
I have to ask this though. Just if you can step outside of your current impression of it, is it bad because you're focusing on more negative than positive, or are there literally more negative comments than positive comments?
Oh, the negative comments like used to get to me at like that first 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, these people like you 1 week. Okay, I don't care. But it's more of the people from past seasons and, you know, some of the people I'm on the show with that doesn't make it better, you know, because they're just very toxic. Okay.
So wait, so we're talking more about people from the show on previous seasons versus just the audience of the show?
Oh, the audience, they hate me. I mean, the audience, I accepted that the fans, I'm not like a person on that show. I accept, because this is not my first TV show. So like, I'm like, okay, Jerry Springer, they thought I was an idiot, you know? So, I mean, but it's just like when people are not speaking facts and don't know the facts, that would kind of irritate me. But like the posts, I mean, the responses were like, it's the people who've been on this show and know how the editing works and still would try to like come at me or bully me or just like, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like,
well, I saw recently that someone like leaked your phone number online.
Yes, Miss Scarlett leaked my phone number. Her and leaked my phone number.
And was that? I mean, it sounds like an obvious question, but I have to ask it. Was it intentional, or was there any chance that it was like a mistake from a screenshot?
I think if it was a mistake, I wish you had just told me it was a goddamn mistake. But I will always think it was intentional. Because she had people call me doing death threats and this and that, and
you're getting death. What is threatening?
They called me nonstop, saying we're gonna kill you, we're gonna fuck you in your ass, and we're gonna throw you, like we're gonna set you on fire. Like it was nonstop. So I have to change my number. Like it was nonstop. Like it was just nonstop. And then
what's your new
Carlos number? definitely did that intentional, because I texted Fabian. I said I'm gonna leak his because a fan hit me up sick. That's a whole nother situation. But even so, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if he leaked my number. I don't care if he leaked my number. I mean, we just don't like each other. I mean, we don't know each other. I mean, he doesn't like me. I have a video of it saying he doesn't like me because I said it's just a TV show. And it's a whole video of him saying, like, I don't like Corey. I don't have a problem with Corey, but I don't like him because he said it's just a TV show. My VIN numbers, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't care. Like, I don't care. It's a TV show to me, you know? But, like, he's irrelevant. But, yeah, it's just been very, I mean, that's the thing. Like, people from, like, even with, I feel like he's a very huge personality. And I wish he would let the 60 Days In era go. Because he has potential of being, like, he had potential of doing other things, because he's a great villain. Like he's like a great villain. He's a great troll, antagonizer, you know? So I'm like, he should be trying to do other TV shows, or, you know, he's a boxer. Like, why we're so worried about this little punk ass 60 Days In? You know, they're so worried about critiquing how we are, instead of going critique, you know, do better change in the world with the jail. Like all they do is just make YouTube videos and shit about 60 Days In. Like this one dude from season 7, he's like, 60 Days In is putting people in danger. Wow, you found the secret formula. Wow, like you found the secret formula. Wow, like duh. People got punched in the face in the early seasons. Like duh. What do you guys? I mean, what are we like? Duh. Like, what are you guys saying? Like, duh. Like this, they're meant. They want to put you in danger. That's why you sign the contract and say if anything happens, it sells. You know, it's like people who come after season 1 have these like ego. Like not even season 1, after season 6, some people have these egos. You know, like, oh, we did the show. They're scared to be forgot about. And see, I want people to forget about me. Please forget about me. Like when season 10 come, I'm gonna support them people. Like, yeah, like it's your turn. Yeah, it's your turn. You know, like I can never hold on to this show. Like this is like I can never hold on to it. Like even like my Instagram page, like took out my bio and stuff. Like I don't like this is season finale. Like I'm done with it after this. Like I'm done. Like I'm over it. I got another show coming out in October. Like I'm done. Like it's I'm over with. Like it's behind me. It was like, and I did this in my 20s. And I feel like some people who do this show, this is like the only big thing they ever done in life besides go to jail. Then they just can't let it go. And I like to let things go. You know, I quit jobs every day. I don't care. Like, and I'll go to a new job. Like, I don't care. Like, this is behind me, you know?
Well, and I guess you said you got a new show coming out in October, so it'll probably be pretty easy to put this behind you. What comes after the show you got coming out in October? Do you got other goals or plans lined up?
Oh, well, I'm going to work more behind the scenes. I'm actually up for a casting intern position. So I want to get to more behind the scenes and finding talent. I do want to be like a talent person, like find talent for people, be a casting director, well, casting intern, casting assistant, then casting director, and then hopefully own my own casting company one day. But my reality after this, I'm done with TV. This shit's stressful. Like I don't want to do more TV. I'm done. I want to be behind the camera. I don't want to be on nobody else's TV screen. Like after this one little show I got coming out, I'm done. That's done.
Out of you said you were on Jerry Springer, you were on 60 Days In, and you're on an upcoming show. Which of those 3 was the most stressful?
This one, 60 Days In, was the most stressful.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that would have been obvious, but I had to ask, you know?
Oh, yeah, this one. Most definitely. This was the most draining show I've ever had to experience. Like, it was draining. Like even the producers from my other show, they were like, why did you do that show, Corey? Because I did that competition show before this show, before 60 Days In. They're like, why did you go and do that? Why did you go and do that? They're like, why did you go and do that? I'm like, I don't know. I wanted to be on TV.
Is there anything at all that in a previous season of 60 Days In, before you went on it, is there anything that anyone could have said in like an exit interview or like a recap that if they said this one thing that you would have been like, oh, I'm not doing that then? Or like, was your mind just so set on it that wouldn't have mattered what anyone said?
Oh yeah, my mind was already set. I mean, no one could have changed my mind about going on the show. No one could have. Probably God, but he obviously wanted me to go through this. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this season's very catchy. We have great catch lines and phrases. Like season 5, like you got Abner the Enforcer and stuff. Like he was a great TV personality to me. Tony, great TV personality to me. It's Angelique, Stephanie, Jacqueline, great TV personalities. Like, I mean, I look at like the entertainment part of it because it's just entertaining. And people are like, season 9 doesn't take jail seriously. Like, people don't take their own fucking freedom seriously. So leave us alone. Like, go, leave us alone. Like, how do you know we're not taking it seriously? You're not in there with us, you know? And I think I took it very seriously. I just, had a little freak out.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to talk about in the jail? Any questions that I should have asked because it would have led to like an interesting story?
I don't know, dude. I think we covered everything. Yeah, I think we covered it. I don't know. Unless you got any more questions.
Okay, well, I got a little segment. It's going to break away from talking about 60 Days and Jerry Springer and all this stuff. Actually, let me ask, what were you on Jerry Springer for? What episode was it?
Oh, you guys can go watch. It's called Judge Jerry Kelly Blue Book. It's called Kelly Blue Book. Judge Jerry Kelly Blue Book. I'm telling you, that's
Judge Jerry Kelly Blue Book. Well, like the car Blue Book.
Yeah, it's like the little pop at the top I did because I like said like a phrase or something. I said,
how real was the Jerry Springer show?
Oh, that was all scripted.
Okay.
Improv. I mean, that's, but.
All right, yeah, I've got a little segment here, so we'll break away in this. This will be fun, then we'll start to kind of like recap a little bit.
Okay.
Hey, conspiracy buffs, I double dare you to take some PCP, the Paranormal Conspiracy Probe. On your marks, get set, and go!
Okay, these are the rules. I'm just going to mention a certain topic, and I want you to rate it on 1 to 10 on how much... Oh, you're back. I want you to rate a certain topic on 1 to 10 on how much you believe in this topic. So, for example, if I say like Bigfoot, how much do you believe in Bigfoot on a scale from 1 to 10? Where would you rate that?
1.
What about the concept of a flat Earth?
4.
What about Hollow Earth?
4.
How about that a human being has stepped foot on the moon in the last 100 years?
I don't know. The American Corporate Story. I don't know. 6. It's probably 6 or 7.
What about the actual moon landing footage that people saw on TV in the late 60s? How accurate do you think that was?
I think it was pretty accurate. I will hope like 10. I think.
How about the concept of ghosts, like a Victorian haunted house?
10.
Demons?
10.
I got it. Angels, just to square
10.
it off. What about dinosaurs?
10.
What about fire-breathing flying dragons?
Okay, that's -1. I'm like, okay, anybody find anything Game of Thrones? That's like a -1, like 1.
All right. How about the conspiracy theory that 9/11 was an inside job?
I don't know. 1. I don't know. I think that man was just really messed up and did that. Those people were just, I don't think the government had anything to do with that. I would hope not. From the Facts Act, I don't know.
What about celebrity clones? You know what I'm talking about when I say celebrity
10.
clones?
10.
All right. Would you be comfortable calling out someone that you think is a good example of a celebrity clone?
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was literally in a movie about having a clone made out of him, right? What about Britney Spears as a clone?
Yeah, Amanda Bynes is a clone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 10. Yeah, so 10.
What about like telepathy, like extrasensory perception?
Telepathy, extrasensory. 5.
What about AI gaining consciousness in the next 10 years or
10.
even presently?
10.
Does that scare you? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
AI scares me. I hate artificial intelligence. It scares me.
What scares you about it?
It just scares me. Like, people can make your voice, deep fake, like, all that stuff scares me.
Could you turn your attitude on that around, or are you pretty terrified of it?
I'm pretty terrified of AI. Like, I love it to write, or like, I don't know. I just don't like artificial intelligence. Like, I know we have to use some of it, but like, I just don't do like AI. I don't know. It's.
I'm an eternal pessimist, so I think some of the silver lining of AI is that if it makes people distrust the things that they see and hear, I think that's a good thing. And I don't think it shouldn't have taken all the way to get to AI for people to stop trusting what they're seeing and hearing. I think they should have not trusted it in the 1880s. You know what I mean? Like, even before computers were out, I think that people should have been a little bit wary of the stuff that they were seeing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that.
And then also, like, the jail experience. You said that season 9 was like the only one that you would have survived in, or at least gotten as far in. If you had to pick any other season, though,
understand. I love our season. If Mike Smith ran for president, I would vote for him. Like Mike Smith, like Sheriff Mike Smith, I would vote for him if he ran for president, because that's how you. If he can run a jail that well, I know it's had some little. I mean, he gotta get his COs together, you know, but. This is one of the best ran jails in America. It looks so soft. It's like, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's so soft. It's so soft." No, it's just really ran well. It's just it just runs really well.
It's only people want it to be dysfunctional so they can see all this extra drama, which is seems
Oh
like
yeah, and no one cares.
people.
Okay, so let me tell you something. 60 Days In has a really shitty fan base because no one watches the show. Like no one really watches this show. Like it's not like no one like I probably used to watch it, but like nobody be watching, checking in on us. Like no one cares about like me and Scarlett's beef or like that's the same like and no one cares when he shits on the show. Like no one really cares. I mean, we respond, but like no fans really check in. Like when we get on live, they have like what 3, 4. I have like 3 people watch. He has like 4 or 5. When they be talking about me, they be have like 5 people we watch. Like nobody really is checking in for the participants of 60 Days In. You know, no one cares. Probably people on Reddit care, but nobody really cares.
Do you check the subreddit and read the comments there?
Oh, they're hilarious. Yes, they're hilarious. They're hilarious. Yes.
What are the other little avenues on the internet where people are talking about 60 days that I might not know about?
Twitter. Twitter is my favorite. I like Twitter.
Is there like a certain hashtag or something? Just 60 days?
Yeah, I always click on the hashtag, and they. I'm like, oh my god, leave us alone. Leave us alone. And then you get the new people who just now start watching it. What the fuck is wrong with Corey? I'm like, oh, here we go. Got to re-explain myself again. Like it's just like that's why I just learned just like because someone's being born today. Like someone's being born today that's going to watch my season and watch me like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like someone being born today is not going to like me, you know? So it's, you know, it's TV.
I mean, just for the record, I told you this when we were hanging out in person too, but just for the record, man, I never like looked down on you leaving early or like this guy's an asshole or you're just acting up. I was looking at it like this is a person that shouldn't be in jail. And this is the exact reaction that I would expect from someone that shouldn't be in jail. And not just you mentioned the oversharing, but also that you grew up and like you like the outdoors and you like being outside. So like what the hell did you
perfect, dude. It makes it Utah. I love mountains. I love mountains. So like
did you get to see out the outside at any point while you're in jail though?
No, we can just look up in the sky in the courtyard, but like, we weren't able. No.
So you could have been anywhere as far as environment was concerned, then.
Oh yeah. But that's like I said, if I was in Atlanta or something like that, I would have like tapped out so quick and fast and fucking hurry. Like it would have been like the Jacob night, Jacob, like he tapped out in like 90 minutes. I mean, hell, I'm like only white boy too, and I didn't know what the hell I was getting. They knew what they were doing when they casted him. They knew what they were doing. I don't know, but I feel like casting has gotten much better because they're not looking for like those macho type of dudes. They want people with personality. Like Nina has a personality. AB has great commentary. Well was funny. Like Daniel's great. Like everybody's amazing. I love them all. Like besides 2 of them.
Do you have a number one out of all the different character? And I don't mean like how much you like them as a person, but I mean like the character on the show. Do you have a favorite character from season 9?
Nina's my favorite character. I love Nina. I love her. Yes, Nina's my favorite character. Like she's like one of my favorite characters. She brought something totally different to the show. She brought something. She like the fur coat staple. Like that's controversial. She's controversial. She's very controversial, and I love her for that.
And she was the one that ends up sweet talking the guard that everyone. They kind of cast him as like the ultimate villain guard that just causes nothing but problems.
Yeah.
Did you have any interactions with him directly?
Yeah, he was nice. Like that's why I was so shocked to see him.
That was the nail clipper guy, right? He's the one that let you have the nail clipper.
I was so shocked. Like Chosen warned me about him that he may be strict. Yeah, like the only time he told me was like he was like, "Don't put your arms up there." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I know how to follow rules. Okay, I know how to. If someone gives you, got to earn your respect in that type of environment, you know. And I just kind of earned his respect. He was like, "Cool," like. He used to give me my PIN number. He didn't have anything like he gave me like he was like even Chosen asked for me like a bin to put my stuff in, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna need this." Like I was pretty shocked that he acted like that towards even seeing him like say you guys didn't move fast enough. I'm like, okay, like with the food tray. See, if I was a participant and he told me. Like, I'm sorry, that would have been a whole scene. I would have threw it at him. Like, I'm sorry, like just for TV. for shits and giggles. Like, okay, you eat it then, you know, with the whole food tray with this fish, like you eat like. But my experience with him wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't. I really didn't give a damn about him. I didn't give a damn about any of those. The only CEO I don't fucking like is the one who kicked me out of jail. My boss said you got to go. My boss said you got to go. Like he's weird.
If you actually threw a tray at Smith or any other CEO, how likely is it that you would have caught like a real charge and now you're really in jail?
Not likely.
No, not at all. Like, what about getting into a fight? Do you think if you like got into a fight and punched somebody, that would result in jail time?
I literally slapped somebody. Okay, Angela literally threw fists with the freaking inmate. Okay, and them people got off scot-free. Okay.
Did production ever tell you that you would be in danger of getting real time if you did something like that? Got into like a physical altercation?
Well, they probably did in the hotel room.
Or would have been in the paper that you just signed.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm just on 60 Days In. I'm on my favorite show, so I don't give a damn about the rules. I'm like, I'm here. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I want to wrap this up a little bit because it's been an hour and a half, and I think that I got through all the different questions and stuff. And if I didn't leave anything on the table here, then tell people again where they can find you and all the different shows. And you got something on Peacock. You can't tell us the name, but you can probably tell us where to look for it and when. Yeah.
So I am going to be on a Peacock TV series. I think I picked up. Yeah, Peacock TV series. Competition, paranormal type of show. But yeah, that's it. And then my Instagram is at the Correll. And that's the same on TikTok too. But yeah, I'll definitely stay tuned. You guys definitely gonna see another side of me, a funner side, because I'm a very fun character. Like I hate that people kind of saw me at my lowest, you know, as they try to make it seem at my vulnerable moments. But I don't know, at my lowest moments. But like, you guys don't see like I actually do have a personality, because I think I did the biggest 180 in 60 Days in history. I went from, okay, you know, from the first episode to episode 5, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can see why people think I'm crazy. I can totally see. But again, I had no business going on this show. And after people see your new series that's coming out, are they going to think you're more crazy or less crazy? Less. And that's the thing. I got beef with some people on that show too. It's just like, it's like, is it you? Are you the problem? No, I'm the hero on that show. No, it must be the kids. No, I think I just make a great. I don't know. I think I am probably the problem, but hey, I think there might be a chance. I mean, but no. In that situation, I'm not, because I got saved I came to tell the show, but like, and that I have a hero arc in that show. That's why they're like, why did you go do 60 Days In? Like, why? You know, I'm a hero arc in that show. So, all right, well, we'll wait for that one to come out, and then after that one has aired, maybe you're gonna love that one and tell me about it. You're gonna love that because it's paranormal. It's very paranormal, and that's what I'm saying, man. I would love to. You're gonna love that. About that when you come back. I'm gonna even see you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. All right, well, so look out for that one. Anyone listening or anyone watching, we'll have Corey back on again and talk about a completely different show. No, it's not live. Oh, okay, that'd be cool. That's so cool. So I'm excited, man. Thanks for coming on. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it was awesome hanging out with you in person. It was awesome doing a little interview with you here. Yeah, it was great. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're a very good guy, and I love your content.
Spread the word with propaganda packs, all for just $40 shipped at paranoidamerican.com.
Paranoid propaganda packs. We got facts on these sticker slaps. So grab yourself a stack and go attack with these paranoid propaganda packs.
These huge all-weather slaps will last in public for years to come. Remind citizens that birds are not real. Self-immolation is an option, and might make you magnetic. Do your part and get a propaganda pack today from paranoidamerican.com.
Paranoid propaganda packs. We got facts on these sticker slaps. So grab yourself a stack and go attack with these paranoid propaganda packs.
What are you waiting for? Go to paranoidamerican.com right now and get a paranoid propaganda pack.
American American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. We got all your favorite conspiracies, all of that and more on our sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret societies, all of these and more on our sticker sheets.
Explore the unique with Paranoid American sticker sheets. Unearth tales of cryptids, cults, and mysteries through each sticker. These won't last long. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com.
We're all American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. We got all your favorite conspiracies, all of that and more on our sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret societies, all of these and more on our sticker sheets.
What the heck are you waiting for? Discover the extraordinary with Paranoid American sticker sheets. From cryptids in the night to cults out of sight, each sticker is a unique find. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com. Ready for a cosmic conspiracy about Stanley Kubrick, moon landings, and the CIA? Go visit nasacomic.com.
nasacomic.com, CIA's biggest con. Stanley Kubrick put us on, that's why we're singing this song. I'm nasacomic.com. Go visit nasacomic.com. Go visit nasacomic.com. Yeah, go visit nasacomic.com. Oh, nasacomic.com, CIA's biggest con. Stanley Kubrick put us on, that's why we're singing this song. I'm nasacomic.com. Go visit nasacomic.com. Go visit nasacomic.com. Yeah, go visit nasacomic.com.
Never a Straight Answer is a 40-page comic about Stanley Kubrick directing the Apollo space missions.
Yeah, go visit nasacomic.com.
This is the perfect read for comic, Kubrick, or conspiracy fans of all ages. For more details, visit nasacomic.com.
Paranoid. Yo. I scribble my life away, driven to write the page. Will it enlighten your brain? Give you the flight, my plane, paper the highs ablaze. Somewhat of an amazing feel when it's real to real. You will engage it. Your favorite, of course, the Lord of an arrangement. I gave you the proper results to hit the pavement. If they get emotional, hey, maybe your language, a game, how they playing it well without Lakers. Evade them, whatever the cost, they are the shapeshift. Snakes get decapitated, matters the apex. Execution of flame you out, nuclear bomb distributed at war, rather gruesome for eyes to see. Max them out, then I light my trees. Blow it off in the face, you're despising me for what though? Calculated and rather cutthroat. Paranoid American must be all the blunt smoke for real. Lord, give me a day away, vacate. They wait around to hate whatever they say. Man, it's not in the least bit. We get heavy rotate when the beat hits, so thank us, you're welcome. Fuck the niggas for real, you're welcome. They ain't never had a deal, you're welcome. Man, they lacking appeal, you're welcome. Yet they doing it still, you're welcome.